according to our official, okay.
And you got a copy of the minutes too?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, it is now, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is now 10:05 and the SSDC meeting is hereby called to order. We'll go through with our roll call for members of the committee.
I'm sorry, Madam, are we recording?
Yes.
You said we were recording. Okay, Murphy,
Here.
Todd,
Here.
here, David,
President.
Chair is present, and then we have from staff, we have Oscar, Scott, and Jason, and we all know their last names, and then we have two guests here with us in the room today, and you want to just mention your names?
Rob Baldwin.
And Kelly Stewart.
Kelly, Rob and Kelly, regarding the two sign districts that are up for proposal, and I see we have a number of guests. So do we need to record all the guests, or just, do you want to go into that when we offer them an opportunity?
We can go into that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you said you had an announcement.
Yes, as of 2 weeks ago, our department has been restructured. We are now a part of planning as well, and all under the same umbrella. The new department name is Planning and Development Department. We have a new director. Her name is Emily Liu. Very nice lady.
Did you
And
spell her last, I think it's.
LIU. Yes, LIU. And then the zoning and signs included has been moved under Andrea Udrea as the deputy director. So we now report to her, and I just wanted to let you guys know how that new structure would play out. But now we have zoning and signs all under one umbrella instead of being on two sides.
Okay.
That's
Thank
it.
you for that. And, who's gonna do the presentations? Oscar, are you gonna do the presentation?
Yes, I will do both. My name is Oscar Aguilera. I'm doing the SPSD 223-003, and there's an application to create the frontier sub-district within the downtown special provision sign district on a property zone plan development district, 193 heavy commercial. The request is to create a sub-district within the downtown special provision sign district that will allow a 12.5 foot tall, 160 square foot area and a slow rotating on-premise rooftop logo sign. So, here is the district, and I apologize for that mistake, but it's the downtown sub-district. It is located in this area. Here is the downtown. Again, it's at the end of the special sign district. Here is the aerial map of the proposed sub-district. It's only this property. I guess I can have to show. Okay. So it's this highlighted area. This is the building, and the proposed roof sign will go in this section. If the applicant correct me if I'm
You're correct, sir.
and then here is the zoning map for the district. There was a site a visit that we did. Apologize, I don't have that video, but I tried to show with the location and the arrow. This is what I'm seeing. Here is McKinney Avenue, and I'm on St. Paul Street. At the corner, this is the proposal. I tried to show what it is around the type of land uses next to it. Here is St. Paul. Here's still the building, this red area, which includes this building here too as well. And then this is on McKinney Avenue. So you have seen this proposal already, and it's going to be this type of sign,
Right, that's
This-
logo. right?
this logo, correct? And they're proposing to place it on the top. This is across the street, which is an apartment complex and some retail. And then it has some signs there. And then I went around and I'm standing on Cedar Springs at Harwood Street. And you can see that there's this might be a billboard, but it might also be like a roof sign, which this is a lot bigger than what the applicant is proposing. And then right here is the building in question. So here again is looking east, and I'm standing on Cedar Springs at Harwood, and then I'm just trying to show some signs. There's a sugar factory restaurant, and then here's a weather view, and then this is the proposed new sub-district, the Frontier sub-district. And here is the building, but it's not going to be placed here. It's going to be placed in the corner right here. And you can see where I'm standing. And then there's the view. And then here are what the applicant submitted, so that you can have a better perspective on where the sign will be at, and that I make no errors. And then here is a rendering for the existing building. As you see, there's not going to be any additional structures or no construction, it's just for the sign. Here is the proposal. And then here is the sign. There's the measurements on the table that you will see shortly. And then right across too, you can see also there's a similar. I guess this is more of a billboard, but it's still attached to the building. Here is a kitty corner in front, and then there's just some signs there and high rises. And then this is across the street from the side. So I just put the background. It's a very important area with a lot of economic importance. And then I kind of show what when it was established for this the downtown sign district, which was established in 1989, and then the total of 10 sub districts that they're currently there. And so again, what the request proposal is doing is to allow that roof sign, and is the area that will be 160 square foot area. I put the definition for a roof sign, and then please note that the roof sign must comply with the Dallas Fire Code and IBC chapters 16, 17, and Appendix H sign provisions to ensure public safety, that the sign doesn't fly over or hurt somebody. We talked to Lieutenant Butler, and he's okay with what it was submitted. There's a non-combustible. It's made out of aluminum. And then pretty much is the analysis. We compare this proposal to other sub-districts, which is the Farmers Market Sign District, the Victory Special Probation Sub-District, and PD 621. Farmer Market Center Sub-District allow a maximum of 2 signs in each, and each sign is limited to 1,200 square feet in effective area. The Victory Sign District allow 13 roof signs for Sub-District A. Sub-District B allows 2 roof signs, and Sub-District D allows 2 roof signs as well, based on the information. And then PED 621 allows roof signs with similar provisions as the above SPSD. The roof signs height and dimensions differ depending on the victory signs district. I have the table here that shows so the PD in this one, there's a maximum protective area of 1,200, which is similar to farmers. And Victory District varies from 100 square feet to 8,000 square feet. That's my interpretation of the code. And then the height goes from 15 to 25 feet. One goes from the Victory Sign District, depending on, goes from 25 to 100. This sub-district is 25 feet above the parapet. And then for farmers market, there's no limit. And then all of them rotate. And this one will be maybe a little bit faster than the regular other districts. So staff is recommending approval. The proposed special provision sign sub-district from Frontier sub-district within the downtown special provision sign district is compatible with surrounding uses within the uptown neighborhood. This proposal will allow one roof sign for this proposed SPSD sub-district. The sub-district will be eligible only for major tenants of this property. The roof sign will only allow non-premise sign for one individual building. The proposal will not impact public safety as the roof sign structure must comply with the Dallas Fire Code and the current International Building Code chapters 16, 17, and Appendix H. Sign provisions that will ensure public safety. Then that concludes our presentation. Yes, any questions?
I have a couple of questions, and these are educational questions primarily. Okay, we have one sign being requested. Are we ever going to clean up our sign district stuff so that we have some sort of uniformity and stuff? Because it seems like this is a lot of effort for one sign to create a special sub-district. I'm not objecting to the sub-district creation. I just think it makes it. City Hall already has a bad reputation for overloading people with bureaucracy and red tape. And is there any chance that as we look at revising some of the signage, or is that changing with the reorganizations? Are we still looking at trying to clean up and get more consistent with our sign coding?
So we're always looking to.
Maybe I could have asked that off the record, because I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, but it just seems like this is an additional encumbrance on applicants. It's an additional problem for staff, because then you guys have one more thing that you have to go review every time there's a change. And I see that there's no limit. There will never be a proposal for an additional sign in this sub-district. That is correct. Okay, that's what you said. Okay, and this one is only 160, which is a very modest sign. It just seems like an awful lot of work for staff as well as for applicants.
We agree.
So it is, we are looking at that constantly and how to streamline these. I know the entire code is being revised as we go.
Yeah.
But yes, going forward, we are looking to try and streamline this as much as possible. The problem for this particular sub-district is roof signs are not allowed. The ones we have are mainly historic, and the ones that have been coming through recently, they have to take this route because there's not another route for them.
Right.
No, and that just seems like such a shame and not an awful lot of extra work for everybody involved. And, you know, I'm for efficiencies. So I don't object to that, but I did have a couple of questions, and you guys that are the professional sign people, help me out here. When you mount it, although fire code says it's okay, has engineering study been conducted to certify that?
So
I had trouble reading it, and I'm sorry, because I had eye surgery recently, so reading the fine print and looking at some of the images that were kind of.
So that'll be taken care of in permitting.
Okay.
We'll have engineering submit.
Absolutely.
We'll have the engineering.
Yeah, because I was going, I didn't see anything in here, but then my vision hasn't been the greatest lately, so. Okay, other folks, does anybody have questions? I think I asked you stuff. This is LED lighting, which to me, it looks almost like it's supposed to be emulating neon lighting.
It mimics neon.
Okay. So did y'all have other questions on the clarifications?
So to clarify, this is only because sub-district because they can't do a sign like this otherwise.
Correct.
So in order to do this sign, they have to do a sub-district.
All of the provisions remain the same. That is correct.
The light is red, the LED lighting is red. And then what is is it gonna have the center post or is it gonna have no center post?
So just to clarify, this is their proposed sign. It's not the ordinance. The ordinance allows for a 160 square foot sign.
So
It doesn't necessarily mean this sign.
The ordinance, the sign will come back through.
Yes, it
the
will.
ordinance
That
passes.
is correct.
Understood. Okay.
So it's not gonna be-
Okay.
Good question, David. Murphy, Todd, did you guys have any questions for the staff? And then we'll let the applicant speak if she would like to fill us in. After I shot my big mouth off and said I like efficiency and.
Sorry, I was muted. I was talking, but muted. So David pretty much asked the question I was going to ask. It's basically creating a sub-district for this particular site.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Todd, did you have any questions of the staff?
No, I don't have any questions. I think we were all on the same page as far as asking the question of the sub-district, but I don't have any more questions.
And you're representing the applicant, so do you have anything you want to add? Because we're not trying to muffle you.
No,
We'd like to
no.
hear your input.
I am going to let our sign representative speak, but I just want to say that we're honored to be able to put this sign up and we're very pleased that you're considering it. And we just want to have a chance to have an iconic sign that represents us in Dallas and bring people into the neighborhood.
And if you could state your name and address.
Kelly Stewart, and did you want my home address or my business?
Business is fine.
1919 McKinney Avenue in Dallas, Texas.
Thank you. And we do have several speakers online.
Yeah, so do you want to just,
I can go first, Jason, if that works.
If you could start by saying your name and address.
Tommy Mann, 500 Winstead Building. And I represent Frontier. Kelly, Brian, Robert, and Jesse are all on our team, and we don't each have to make a separate presentation. That we're here for questions. So I'll just add a little bit more context. I have slides, but they're the same renderings you've seen, so I won't belabor it. Just a few things that maybe you didn't realize. This building is actually 100 years old. It was built in 1924. Frontier has made it their corporate headquarters. And so this is a very building specific solution. When you look at the conditions, you can see we've stated that it has to be on a building that was constructed prior to 1930, for instance. It's a zoning district that would allow a 240-foot tall building, but it's a 3-story building. When it was built, they didn't create facade area that's large enough for a prominent sign for corporate headquarters. So this is the solution for that our team has put together. And if you look at the context surrounding it, I mean, there's exposed garage facade from the apartments behind it. There's billboards and a roof sign across the street from it. We think it fits in. It adds kind of some visual interest to the corner in a subtle but interesting way. So that's a summary. We have our technical team here. Kelly's obviously in there with you, and we're happy to answer specific questions. We agree it's a long process for one sign, but it's what we have to do as the code exists today. Thanks.
Okay, question, Jason. When would be the appropriate time to talk about rotation and rotational speed? Would that be when the sign is submitted or?
So I believe it's in the provisions right now. It's once every 10 seconds. Is that correct, Oscar?
Yes.
10 seconds.
And that's consistent with the rest of the code.
Okay, so that aligns.
Yes.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Which is relatively fast. I doubt they'll spin it that fast,
Right.
honestly.
I do have one additional question.
It's
I just
actually
thought-
30 seconds, Jason. It's one complete rotation every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Tommy, you mentioned this is a 1920s building. So is there any need for, like preservation or landmark, anybody to look at this in terms of the age of the building?
It doesn't have any official historic designation on it.
Okay.
So those processes aren't required. It just was a way to make sure that this didn't become, something that somebody building a new building could point to as, an argument for precedent or anything like that.
Right.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions. Do you guys have anything you want to add? No more questions, David? Okay, could we have a motion then?
Motion to approve.
Okay, David, motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'm sorry, whose voice was that? Was it Murphy or Todd?
I'll let Todd do it.
It was both. This is Todd. I'll second the motion.
Okay, you guys fight over it. Okay, then we'll do a roll call vote, so we have it on the record. Okay, David, your vote
In favor.
in favor? Todd?
In favor.
Murphy, we can't see you. We can't have you vote if you can't turn your computer
It
camera
may be
on.
the lag.
Oh, the lag, okay.
Uh,
Can we allow him to speak if we can't see him? Okay, Murphy, we can go ahead and count your vote from what the guys are telling me.
I'll be in favor.
Okay, in favor, and the chair votes in favor. I look forward to seeing the sign come back through.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's fun.
Okay. Any questions, concerns? We're ready to move on to the second case. That was the case, so much.
We can move to the second case. So just to preface this, we've gotten some new information on this case, and we are requesting it be held over. That is as well. And we're going to give you an overview, but we are requesting that it be held.
This is the Redwood Mall.
Yes.
Okay, because I spent 2 hours on Saturday and wanted to be sure I understood what the way
Sure.
everything.
Sure.
Everything. I already warned Scott I was gonna go do that because I'm visual. I have to see it.
Absolutely.
Through my aerial view.
So this is a application SPD to the report of action 001. And the proposal is to create a new special provision sign district on property zone MU2 mixed use district 2. This request proposes to create again a special provision sign district in an area commonly known as the Red Bird Mall that will allow for a uniform signage throughout the mall property and entrances. And I stated that an area known as the Red Bird Mall because it's being redeveloped and it has several new buildings. And then it's proposing a new grocery store. And here is the site, the location, on and off. We have the surveyor here that's given here to see if this is the correct location, but I'm not sure.
Oops.
Oops, my apologies. Let me bring it back.
I'm not seeing anything.
Here, hang on a second.
Hold on, we're working it.
See Oscar?
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Can you see it now?
Can you see it?
Yeah, we're good.
Yep, we're good. I can see it.
Thank you. So, as I stated, the application is that they're proposing a new SPD sub-district that will allow uniform signage throughout the mall properties and entrances. And here is the location compared to the city of Dallas, which is bounded by East Camp Wisdom, US 67, and Southwest Moreland. Here is the aerial map. Will consist of and will include parts of the mall, not the entire area. And then as you see from this map, there's a lot of new proposals for the buildings are within the internal private drives or the internal traffic, which is difficult to see from the public right away. And I will show that on with the site picture. So this is the entrance, and this is the location where I was standing. This right here is in Starbucks, and I forgot what this one. So this is in Starbucks. there's some, current, business that you can see. But as you see, like if you're driving around, yeah, you will not, you will not know what is, back there. And then, if you see the surrounding areas, there's a lot of, signage in that area, and then this is to provide advertisement for that particular side that is visible from the right of way. And then, I walk around, so I'm at the West, Camp, Wisdom Road at, Westmoreland. And, this is across the street from the mall. And then you can see that that's not the mall, but that's the other, property across the street, and this is the mall area. And then you can see that there's one sign right there for Chuck E. Cheese, but it's right there too. And then this is the view from, Westmoreland, like getting closer to the highway. And then as you see that there's some, structures there, which is a multifamily. And then if you look, closer, there's a sign there. There's a sign there that, is proposing a new, grocery store, but as you can see, it's not per se that visible. I will get, closer, but I wanted to show you what there's around. So there's the sign of the proposal. And as you see, for the traffic here, to be able to know that there's one.
Also, before you go, can you kind of focus in on the existing signage, not the thumb, but right there? That's what I saw when I was out there Saturday. So it's just very, very muted. It's not obnoxious signage. It's very tailored, very, very smoothly done. And I don't know if that's gonna be replaced with the
Yeah.
branding and stuff.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to point out while you were on that slide that is what's there right now on the brand.
Yeah, and, so I bought this, this area, so I want to show you too what, there is around, so you could see that there's all, pretty much, commercial. If there's some residential is behind, this area where it's not close, and then on this side too, there's some multifamily, here in this area, and then you have the expressway. So these are now inside the property on the internal, traffic,
The railroad.
area, and then there's a multifamily. And then this is where the proposed grocery store, I believe, is going to be at. The applicant can correct me if I'm wrong. And then there's Chuck E. Cheese. And then you can see here that it's still kind of far if they're going to do some reinvestment. And then here is some, redevelopment for this area that is going under, construction. And then I tried to show the internal, traffic pattern. And then you have signs here, and then you have this, building that I didn't know what it was. So I kind of like walk around and trying to show you the perspective of the internal business. So this I walk in, it seems like an institution like for learning, and it had a job, search area. I don't know if that's going to remain there. And then there's a Burlington, which I didn't see that from the location. I didn't know that existed. And what I was, very surprised was that, to see a clinic there.
Oh, that's been in the plan for a long time.
Yeah.
The clinic out there to service that entire area.
Yeah, so
Southwestern, yeah.
yeah, so I noticed that clinic too is not visible from the public right away, so I think it's not, like people will miss that if I was sick, I will not see it, and you see that just like a photo.
Yeah, that's from one side. If you look at it from where the St. Harris is, that sort of sits back into the left of the St. Harris, as you're facing St. Harris.
Yeah, so what I was trying to demonstrate from this picture is that the internal new development that is happening is not being properly advertised. And I think that the advertising for this portion in economic terms, it will be essential for them to have it. And then the proposed tool for the signs that they will then need to be reviewed by you for approval when they come for the actual permit.
Oscar, hold on a second, because I have a quickie question, and I'm sorry to keep interrupting.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think that was either the AT&T store or that was the back of the Starbucks, and they have some really graphic signage, not really signage, but graphics on those buildings, which is kind of interesting because it does add some vitality to the area. And I just wondered, I can't remember if that was the AT&T store or that was one of the other stores. And it didn't show in the little baby map here, but yeah, it was kind of interesting. Because there's a Starbucks that's pretty close to that same location.
Yes, and I took closer pictures. So this is the Champions store, and this is Champs. I'm sorry, and that's kind of like
Interesting.
the
Buildings.
their model. I guess that it looks artistic and it looks nice. It looks welcoming. As you can see, it has some art in this area as well. And then it has a little court yard too that will serve for events that I think that it can help to contribute to traffic and also for the business survival. And then here I go trying to get to the expressway to kind of have the view from there. So here's what is around. This is not part of the SPSD, but I wanted to the expressway, and again, you can see the Burlington from here, but I think it'll be difficult then to see like the proposed grocery store. That they have services there. And then here I am by the expressway. And again, the internal traffic for the proposal is kind of isolated. And staff believes that the proposal, what they were proposing will benefit not only the developers, but also the community that is around, so they can have the needed services the area wants. Now, from and I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting that. I still want to show you there's a lot of signage, similar signage, and again, they're creating the proposal now on this for create the new special signage, and as I stated, that the business are not visible from the public right of way, the your Southwest Medical Center and internal retail business were not visible to see stuff. During the site visit, I don't know if you had the same findings when you were visiting the site.
Once you got into the property, you could definitely see where you
Yeah.
just Western Clinic was.
Yeah, so my understanding that this might change now, and that's why we wanna hold the application is that I understood that the proposal was the same as the West Villa SPSD. However, we misunderstood. Mr. Baldwin will explain in a minute with his presentation what he's proposing, which it will change some of the heights for the signs as opposed to the West Village SPSD.
Right.
So we are recommending approval, as I stated.
But we're gonna hold till we get an updated one.
Yeah.
Yes, if that's okay.
That's what.
That's for everybody. Okay.
And then, Mr. Baldwin, would you like to?
Did you guys have anything you wanted to add in here before we turn it over to Mr. Baldwin? Because I cheated, you sent me a copy of this for stuff that was going on.
So again, we're not really doing it for uniformity within the complex. We're doing it because they need higher signs that are allowed in the area, correct?
And more.
And more
more
types of
It's like
signs, taller signs.
It's to unify the whole area and around the perimeter.
And right now, the ordinance doesn't allow the stuff that they're asking for, and that's what they're asking for.
Correct.
And actually, when I was up there, David, I saw the existing old signage where there was one sign that was not the best of condition, but it looked like it had been like an all metal, almost like a monument sign introducing the mall. But from where it was located, you couldn't really see it. I saw it from inside when I was I turned around and faced backwards from Sanger Harris. It has the original Redbird
Yeah.
logo with it, which I think y'all are gonna retain. But also I wanted to clarify one thing. You were talking about signage along the way. Oscar, I want to be sure everybody understands that was not signage for this location. That is some of the smaller businesses on the adjacent streets. When he said there's a lot of signage in there, it's true. But it's not connected to the small, so we need to we can't control what somebody already has built there. And I want to be sure people understand it's not this area of signage that is, well, there's a plethora of other signs. There's a plethora of small businesses. I saw a lot of not grocery, but fast food chain facilities in there. I saw 2 cell phone stores, AT&T and then T-Mobile. And then there were just a lot of other local support things for people that live in the area. And it's kind of sad because my impression, I remember the old Redbird Mall back when I was a kid. My dad put in Executive Airport, which is now Redbird Airport. And so I spent a lot of time down there. They had a fantastic mall down there. And I was shocked and disappointed at how there was like the Sanger Harris store. I did not get the time to walk out and explore the Sanger Harris area and what all shops were in there. But it was really sad to see how few things were still located in that mall, because you basically had UT Southwestern and you had the original Sanger Harris. And as driving around some of it, there were some ancillary support services. I think I saw a workforce place up, which I'm assuming was recruiting facility and stuff like that. But in the mall itself, yeah, there's a lot of small grocery chains, not grocery chains, but convenience, eating establishment, mainly fast food takeout was what I saw. And so that was not part of the mall area, although there were a couple of facilities. And Rob, maybe you can explain that. When you get into the mall area, there are some that are kind of on property that looks like it belongs to the mall, that there were some fast food stores. I think the Starbucks actually may sit in your property. So if you can kind of fill us in on some of that.
Whenever you're ready for me, I'm happy to discuss.
You thought that anything she wanted to add? Oscar, did you have anything else?
And I apologize, what I was talking about, it was just for the signs that are in the area for land compatibility,
Yeah.
As a reference.
As a reference, so that's why the decision for recommend for approval.
Yeah.
And, let me bring up the presentation for Mr. Boswell.
Okay.
Where would you like me?
You don't have to sit in the peanut gallery. You can come join us, please.
Barely minutes, so.
Oh, is this the first one?
Yeah, so these are the.
I'm sorry, guys, you don't have the big presentation, 11x17 that we're getting to look at here.
Yeah. So, I'm Rob Baldwin, 3904 Elm Street, Suite B, representing Redbird Mall in this. So Redbird Mall is going through being reimagined, being re-tenanted. It was a classic mall in that it had the big building surrounded by a ring road, and then everything between the ring road and the public streets were basically sold off as individual pad sites, and that's the way it is today. The problem is we're not just a mall anymore. So people don't know what's going on behind the strip retail on the perimeter. So the purpose of this sign, SPSD and sign package is for wayfinding, is for kind of allowing our logos and kind of tying everything together. And to let people who are on the streets know what's going on and how to get there. There's a plating issues involved and that, as we mentioned, Tom Thumb is coming in. They're gonna be on their own lot, but people don't know how to get there from around because the way the ring road works, that actually serves as your collector street. And so people may be coming in off of Camp Wisdom, but the Tom Thumb itself is facing Westmoreland. So so if we advertise the Tom Thumb off of any of our other entrances, it becomes a billboard because it's referencing something that's happening not on that lot. So the purpose is to treat this all as one site for the purposes of signage, so we don't have the billboard issues. Create tenant identification, wayfinding. And if we go through this presentation quickly. So this is the overall site. You can see we have numbers in the blue talking about the sign types. As Poole said earlier, we're going to get through and do some revisions and tighten this up a little bit. I based the SPSD off the West Village SPSD because I think it's similar in that it's one property that has both residential, non-residential, kind of an activity, entertainment area. And I just need to tighten it up a little bit. So next slide, please. So this just shows the phase limits. This would be the first phase of the north. Next slide, please. And these are the different identifying the different buildings and kind of ties it all together. Next slide, please. So these are the primary entry signs. They'll be internally illuminated. They'll reference Redbird Mall, and they'll be at the entrances as shown on their original map. Next slide, please. And these are pedestrian directional signs. They will be distributed throughout the property to help pedestrians. It's a more pedestrian scale than an automobile scale.
Well, these look similar to the ones that I saw out there, and they are pretty much the same.
They're about the same, but
And everything, but then they have the logo,
the logo on it, and they'll have the masonry at the bottom, and masonry at the top. And these are not illuminated signs. Next slide, please. These are, again, wayfinding, crosswalk identifying signs, kind of puts forth. They're all going to look the same with masonry on top and bottom, same colors, same logos. Next slide, please. These are new signs. These are internally illuminated multi-tenant signs. We're showing an option for placards and then one for internally illuminated that may have some digital aspects to it. These will essentially be expressway signs. They're shown down on next to 67. They're fairly tall, but we need to have fairly tall signs there because, you know, we have freeways surrounding us on all sides.
So that's how you're addressing the highway traffic.
Right. Next slide, please. And this is what the Redbird will look like. I think it looks really cool. And these will just, you know, be used throughout the project. Next slide, please. Again, another version of that. Next slide, please. Then we're also allowing for wall art. These will be a logo, but it's not a commercial logo. It just identifies the project. And you can see you have both daytime and nighttime views. They will be illuminated, but internally illuminated. Next slide, please. Some more art. I really like this one with the trees and the red birds kind of tying everything together. And that would be on the walls leading from the different parking areas. Next slide, please. And these kind of identify the different birds and how they're going to be on the branches and give you a close-up view of what they're looking like and how tall they're going to be. Next slide, please. This is a monument sign for the offices. And you can see the location of it up there on your left. Again, multi-tenant signs, but identifying the office users as opposed to the retail users. Next slide, please. And this is the non-illuminated version of it as well. as you see, they're all tied together. They all have the same colors, materials, sizes. So it is all going to be very unified. And once you get in there, you're going to realize you're in a special place, and the signs are going to help with that. This is a monument sign that would help. This is over on the west side. Next slide, please.
Can you do it, tenant identification now, you didn't we?
I'm sorry.
Tenant identification, that's what it's.
So wayfinding there as well, tenants. And next slide, please. And this shows possible locations of logos. Next slide is, and that's basically it. So I am going to be meeting with the sign staff here very shortly to make sure that my text matches what we've just seen, and we come back and talk to you about it. But I wanted to give you an overview. I think it's great. I think if you have not been down to Redbird Mall, you should. It's a lot's been going on down there. We have residential, we got retail, we got office, we got community incubators, and the strip retail around it is being upgraded. Yeah, it's like we said, we do have a Chick-fil-A there, we have a Starbucks there, Whataburger up there. So we're getting rid of the I would call them legacy buildings that have been there when the mall was in a decline, and upgrading them. And one other thing that, as Oscar pointed out earlier, we have a festival lawn that will be for community events.
Was that the terrace lawn that was in?
Yeah, had the lifeguard stands in it.
Yeah.
And we're going to have that for events, food trucks, and festivals and neighborhood gatherings. So I'm here to answer any questions. I look forward to bringing you back some more precise language. I think we're 90% there, but Mr. Poole made some good observations about how we can tighten it up. So I'm here to answer any questions. I still don't know where the camera is.
It's over the top of that TV.
Oh, so everybody's looking at the back of my bald head?
Yeah.
I get a singing view. Question, because there's and I can't remember if it's on this or not.
That's the plan.
There's it looks like a football,
Oh,
the football club type
Yeah.
thing over there. Is that within the perimeter here?
yeah, it's located, well, it's not within John, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's the ring road right here. It's right
Over
here.
here on that side, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's basically a camp for learning how to play soccer.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
And then there were some other things. Was it Foot Locker that I saw in there?
Foot Locker's right up here
Yeah.
next to our lawn.
Okay, yeah, there were some things that support youthful activities in
Exactly.
the area. And I didn't know if y'all were including them inside the perimeter.
It's everything that the Redbird Mall people own.
Okay, ready.
Questions from Todd, board?
Todd, Murphy, any questions from you guys?
No, it's
I
a lot
just-
little. I am familiar with Redbird, so certainly excited to see some changes going on out there. The
Yeah, it is exciting, Murphy.
areas do for sure.
Yeah, because I did a drive around and when I looked around, I spent probably 2 hours in that entire vicinity. And the busiest thing I saw was Joe V's, which I think is the city of Dallas, but it may be more toward Duncanville. But I looked around in there and they do need some better services and stuff in that area.
Yeah.
And I think, me, I'm not necessarily a signage devotee, but I think this really would help energize that entire area. So I'm looking forward to hearing.
I think it's set a good standard for what other people would be expected to do down there.
Yes.
I live on this side of town and, like seeing Wynwood start to get
Redevelopment.
redeveloped, seeing this is very
Yeah.
helpful. So again, you'll come back, Rob, with the sub-district rules for us to.
Right.
about. And then we would anticipate that after that, you'll probably do the gateways and the highway stuff first.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it was sad seeing, because you've got like R.L. Thornton Kurtz, is it R.L. Thornton or is it Walton? I don't know, I get all the freeways. They've changed names so often down there, I'm
Yeah.
confused. I even tried.
I-20, 67.
Yeah, I couldn't find my way home at first because I found my GPS, I kept saying, now where's this? And so, yeah, I had to reboot the GPS in my car.
Actually, I think one of the first signs you'll see is Tom Thumb, to let people know they're coming.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then they have a sign up.
They're coming soon.
It's temporary construction type of stuff. Just a question, and it's going to be off the record or on the record, I don't care. I looked down there and from the freeways, I couldn't see anything, like TxDOT normally puts up what types of facilities are available in the area. Are they gonna work with y'all to try to get some on those green signs that say what things?
What's going on at this exit?
Yeah.
I think that anybody who's willing to pay can get on one of those placards.
It's a pay for.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, shucks.
So I don't know,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be surprised.
Do we have any constraints in terms of highway beautification signage restrictions on what they're looking at doing? Scott, Jason, or what you saw?
Since this is all on premise, it doesn't affect it. Now, if it were non-premise advertising, then HBA would play
Okay.
into it.
Yeah.
But because this is all considered one premise
Mhm.
and it all takes place on that site, we don't have any issues with HBA.
Yeah. I would just encourage everybody on the committee to swing by down there because it is exciting to see how much activity is going on. And I was just excited because, like I said, I was a little kid when my dad helped put in Executive Airport. And I can remember it was a thriving mall even back then.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I talked to in the Oak Cliff area and further down south of that are really, they were saddened to see the mall deteriorate because they said we had decent shopping facilities back then and now they don't have a lot. And so I think it really signage, despite the fact you guys thought I don't like signs, signage is really going to help with that redevelopment. And I think we probably need to look carefully at what's going in there. Because when I called Rob and I said, is the kitchen sink included? Because there's so much in this. And that was my first perception is, okay, now, what all was going in here? Because you had this plethora of listings of different, like banner signs and all other kinds of signs. And then we talked about those being used for advertising special events. And you have the restrictions toward the end of the report that say how long those banners can be up and stuff like that. So I was a little bit, let's just say that calmed my anxiety over the number of signs. So I look forward to hearing the final product, and I'm sorry that the applicant wasn't able to join us today because.
Mr. Brodsky, he was on the call.
Oh, he was.
I don't know if he's still on the call,
I
but
thought somebody said that he was ill and so couldn't
yeah, so
participate, so I
Yeah.
didn't realize I didn't.
he and I have been texting.
I mean, I never look at Murphy and Todd. Okay, then, do we need a motion to hold this? Okay, then I will move that we hold it until when is our next meeting and will that give enough time? August what, I don't have my calendar with me, Tracy.
August 13th.
August 13th, will that give you guys enough time to?
Yeah, and we're gonna meet first of next week, and, then I have a computer, so I can make the changes pretty quickly.
Okay,
And I'll second Cookie's motion. So hold.
okay, hold until August 13th. Sorry, which okay, then we need to take a vote. We have a motion on the floor and a second. So Todd, your vote, please, sir.
In favor of holding.
Okay, Murphy?
In favor of holding.
Okay, David? And the chair votes in favor of holding.
Thank you all very much. Look forward to seeing you in August.
Mhm.
Okay, and
Good to meet you. Good to see you.
Rob, don't run off. I got a couple of quick questions after we go off. Rick.
Well, I'm gonna go off and I'll wait outside for you.
Oh, okay.
That way y'all can talk bad about me.
Okay. Then we still have the minutes to approve. Did anybody see the project? Changes, anything that needs to be marked?
I didn't see anything.
Any of you guys up there?
They look
If-
accurate.
Yeah,
If no corrections or additions, then the minutes can be approved as stated. And are we ready to adjourn then? If that's any, is there any future business that you guys need to bring up? Okay, then it's now 11 o'clock and the meeting stands adjourned. Thanks, everybody.